Fuck your feelings. How you feel today should not decide what you do tomorrow. Never. Voice actors quit, they panic, they change strategies, or stop auditioning because of temporary emotions. I've watched people nearly quit just based on emotions, when the actual evidence showed that they were a lot closer to their goals than they realized. Your emotions are lying to you. Stop listening to them. Now, if you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm Jesse Carroll. I'm a full-time voice actor, and I scaled my voiceover business to over $100,000 in my very first year and every year since. Now I spend my time teaching over 400 people in my community how to do the same thing. And if you want to know more about that, check out the links below. So, when I did this video, I actually spent a long time making a really sophisticated whiteboard. I had it all dialed up, and I'm going to show you, but it sucks on camera. So anyway, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is the whiteboard, and as you can see, there's a bunch of glare from all the lights I have on it. It says, fuck your feelings. So now, instead of the whiteboard, we're gonna go do a little iPad magic. So here's the actual problem with listening to your feelings. Most people think that feelings equal facts, and that is simply not the case. Just because you're feeling something, that doesn't mean that everything's going to hell. It just means that you have something unsure going on. And most people will listen to that. You cannot listen to your feelings in any kind of business. They will always steer you in the wrong direction. You gotta look at actual facts. And in voiceover, I don't want you thinking in terms of feelings, good or bad. I want you thinking in terms of the inputs that you're putting into it daily. How many auditions are you doing? Have you got your pro demo? How many casting sites are you on? How many agents do you have? Are you following up with your clients? All things like that. Feelings do not equal facts. The problem with feelings is people tend to think that one bad week, let's see, you have a bad week equals I suck. That's not the case at all. It's just one bad week. But feelings will steer you in the wrong direction. They think that no bookings equals my career is dying, which is also not the case. And it could go on and on and on. You can do it with AI. AI is taking over the world. It's not. And it can go the opposite direction as well. Your feelings can lie to you when you have one great month. One great month equals I figured it out, which is pretty dangerous because then you get comfortable, and there's nothing that kills a voiceover business faster than being comfortable. Trust me, I know. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you to suppress your emotions. Emotions are real. Know them. Just don't make a decision based on them. I want you to look at it like this. So you got your feeling. It goes to a reaction, which leads to bad decision. Feeling, reaction, bad decision. That's usually how it goes. And I know this from experience. So I'm going to tell you a story. Last year, 2025, was one of the shittiest years in voiceover that I've ever had. Just in voiceover. Started off fantastic. January, I was killing it. I made like 20K voiceover alone. And in February, I think I hit like 15 or 16. And then it just kind of continued to float between like 10 and 20K a month until I had my son. Then everything flipped upside down. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't get to my auditions as fast as I usually do. My voice was always like rough and raw because I was getting barely any sleep. And what I started doing was changing my approach accordingly. And oh my God, I was starting to bid like all over the map on online casting. I was messing with all of my audio chains over and over and over. I was like testing everything under the sun. And then everything just kind of like, I had two of the worst months I've ever had in my entire voiceover career. 2 months of that. Now at this level where I'm at, if I make like less than $10,000 a month, that sucks. That sucks. It happens sometimes. There's usually a couple months out of the year, but less than $5,000, that's a fucking state of emergency. And instead of staying cool, I panicked and started changing everything all the time. And then I just got a hold of myself after a couple months of just going crazy. And I started getting back to what is tried, true, and tested, and putting in the reps whenever I could. If I couldn't get to them right away because I had to tend to the baby, that's just the way it was. I got back to all the basics. I used the audio chain that I used the most whenever I booked the most work. I got to my auditions as soon as I could, and I did as much volume as humanly possible with having a baby, which is obviously less. And then everything picked back up. And I cleared 6 figures last year by the skin of my teeth. And that's after 2 like really bad months and a bunch of mediocre months. Significantly less than the year before. The year before I cleared $250K from VoiceOver alone. No coaching, no other income, nothing. Just VoiceOver. And then obviously it was less than half of that last year, but it picked back up. Now this year, I've made almost as much as I made last year already, and we're just over halfway through the year. The reason I'm telling you this is because VoiceOver is my only job. That's about as emergency as it gets. If you start letting your feelings, like I did, dictate how you do the work, it's really going to lead you astray. You want to find what works for you, and you want to do it as much as you can, just over and over and over and over again. I don't know why I'm doing this, but that's the trick of this. So I can tell you what I do personally. I can tell you all that, but you got to do it. You know, I talk to people all the time in VoiceOver, and consistency, lack of consistency, inconsistency, and listening to their feelings is one of the top reasons that they're not where they're at. I was talking to somebody recently, and they were doing like on average about 4 auditions a day, and they were wondering why it wasn't working and if they should keep going. I'm like, yo, I couldn't make 4 to 5 auditions a day work. I can't make 10 auditions a day work. Not full-time numbers. Those are hobbyist numbers. VoiceOver is not easy in the beginning. Some people have an easy time. Some people have it easier than others. Some people have a really hard time, but it doesn't mean that you can't turn it around. You just got to not listen to your feelings, because we all want things, especially today. We want them to work out right away. And they often don't work right away, but that doesn't mean that they won't. You know, when I started this YouTube channel, I got like no traction for like 7 months. Like 7 months, like almost no extra subscribers. I didn't like crack 1,000 subscribers until like month 8 or 9. And then 3 months later, I had almost 20,000 subscribers. And now it's just kind of a slow sort of growth. But the point I'm making is that was effort I was putting into it all the time with like almost no results, no subscribers, nobody getting in contact with me for my community or coaching or any of that. And I just kept rolling with it. And now VoiceOver School is blowing up. People are in there and booking their first jobs, going full time. We even got somebody that scaled to over 6 figures in her very first year. But if I would have quit, none of that would have ever happened. All these lives never would have been affected. And all these people that have helped go full time in VoiceOver and achieve their dreams, that never would have happened if I would have quit. Now, on the flip side, I've got people that come into VoiceOver School that want it to happen in the first few weeks. And I get it. I want it to happen that quick too. It took me 3 months to really start making traction when I first started doing VoiceOver. And I was working at it like from the time I woke up until the time I went to sleep. Are you putting in that kind of effort? I was doing every single kind of audition I could possibly get my hands on, and I was searching for more. It was my entire day. I've got people like Whitney who came in and booked on her 3rd audition and went full time within 3 or 4 months. And on the flip side, I've got people like one of my now coaches, Mandy, who was one of my students. She's fantastic. She struggled in the beginning. I think it took her 400 auditions to book her first job. And when I'd met her, she'd put like quite a bit of effort into VoiceOver, and she wasn't sure if it was going to work out. Basically said what I'm saying to you right now. Fuck your feelings, do the work. Make it mechanical. Every day you're going to do X number of auditions. You're going to do X number of reach outs to past clients. And if you're into that whole cold emailing thing, do X number of cold emails. But like honestly, the auditions is going to be your biggest bang for your buck. That's the number one driver of a VoiceOver business. Not only is it going to give you the most chances of making a higher income and booking work, but it's also giving you practice. And those people that you audition for, if you do a really good job, they're going to remember that. They might come back and just offer you another job. You never know. But it's never going to happen if you listen to your feelings and like, you know, some days you're like, oh, I just can't get in the booth. I'm not feeling it. That doesn't even cross my mind. I don't feel like it. I don't understand. I don't feel getting into the booth. I don't understand. I don't feel like working on my business unless you don't want to do it. If you really want to do something, you need to become obsessed with it. You got to think about it all the time. You really got to go for it. In the beginning of VoiceOver, it really does require an obsession over it to get the thing moving, just to get it off the ground. If you get obsessed with it and really, really work at it, you got a chance. You really do. I've seen people with legitimate mechanical issues end up starting to book more consistently. And I mean mechanical issues in their mouth, like their speech isn't clear and they still made it work. As I said, I'm not just talking about bad feelings. Bad feelings make you want to quit. Good feelings can also be harmful because let's say you book a huge job and then you stop auditioning, you're just riding off that, and then you just kind of let everything go to the wayside. You're not really working on your business, trying to make it grow. And then that job stops and you're like, oh shit, now you're super behind and you got to start from ground zero again and start getting in touch with your clients and all that. Success can make you feel like you're on top of the world and it can make you lazy. And it's certainly done that for me sometimes. Sometimes I got to give myself a kick in the ass and not listen to the fact like, oh, I've got it mastered, I've got it figured out. I don't. There's lots of areas. Like, for instance, I'm trying to get into getting AAA games right now, and it's been a struggle. I've had some really close calls over the past year, and I just, I gotta put one away. I gotta book one of those things and then get it rolling. But it takes a huge amount of effort to do that. In my case, commercials, really, it took a lot of effort, but it came a lot faster. You never know how close you are to your goals. But if you listen to your emotions, it will have you quit 6 inches from gold. That wasn't me. That's from the book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That's how you say his name. I could be wrong. But I recommend you check it out. Check out that book. That'll help you with the whole feelings and quitting and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that's my fiance and our dog. She's loving her dog right now. Very loudly. Oh my God, Callie, you're such a nice... Heather, come here, bring Callie. Oh, you don't want to be on camera?
That's crazy.
Hey, Callie. This is Callie. Isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life? Hey, everybody, I'm Callie. Hey, buddy. Okay, the family's barging in. Let's wrap up here. Okay, so this is the way that I want you to look at it from now on, okay? So let's look at this here. Instead of thinking feelings, think data, action, time. So data, action, time. Action, data, time. I think that's a better way of doing it. If you don't take action, you're not going to get data. And if you don't give it time, you're not going to get further in your business. So you have to give it time. And I want you to look at it like this too. VoiceOver isn't something that you retire from. It's something you can do for the rest of your life. If you give it time and you don't listen to your feelings, you just keep moving forward. Easier said than done for sure. And I struggle with it, but I have to remind myself all the time, fuck your feelings, do the work. That's really the best formula for success that I can think of in VoiceOver. The most dumbed down version of everything I would coach and everything I teach is fuck your feelings, do the work. Now, what is the work? That is the secret sauce. Because you could be doing the wrong things for 10 years and get absolutely nowhere. That's why we built VoiceOver School. So here's the shorthand here. I want you to ask yourself next time you feel a certain type of way, how many auditions are you doing currently? Can you do more? When I'm really rolling on all cylinders and I've got the time away from the family, I'm doing 50 to 60 auditions in a day, sometimes more. But it's pretty rare I'll do less than 30 ever. Are you doing that many? Try and hit 30. If you're at 5, try and hit 10. Once you get to 10, get to 20, get to 30. It doesn't take that long. Are your reads getting better? Are you getting coaching? Do you have a specific coach that you like to work with? If you haven't got any coaching and you don't have any bookings, I'd probably get some coaching from somebody that knows how to book. Are your bookings overall trending upwards? Are they going down? Are they inconsistent? These are all questions that you want to ask yourself, and then you want to write the data down and review it all the time. I like to track everything. I like not listen ratios on online casting because it's inconsistent and you can't really tell if they've listened to it or not because they can download them. But I would track your shortlists, listen to them. What did you do in those to get the shortlist? Is there anything different you did? How did you sound? Was it natural? Were you more announcery? That read still exists. Where are you getting work mostly? Are you exploring other avenues? Are you paying attention to what's in vogue? Are you watching ads? Are you listening to ads? All of these things are important. Who are the top voice actors that you like out there right now? If you can't name one, well, you need to be able to figure out who the top people that you like are. Develop taste in this business. All of that is going to help you get more skillful over time. Just obsess with every aspect of the business. And that's going to help you not listen to your feelings because you will be so fucking busy, you won't be able to listen to them. The people that usually I find that will hit us up in VoiceOver School, make a post that is kind of like negative in nature. They don't mean anything by it, but we have like a zero negativity policy in VoiceOver School because, it doesn't add anything. But if there's a concern, like, why am I not booking? Hey, can somebody help me out? Here's what I've done. Those are the ones I love. Those are the posts that I love to answer. Because there's usually a variety of things that they haven't done. People that let their feelings affect them are usually the ones that are doing the least. Not always, but usually. They're stuck on one thing, like they're only getting 1 to 5 auditions on Voices, but meanwhile, they haven't even done their profile completely on Voices. They don't have, a minimum of like 30 to 50 DIY demos up there so they can't get found. They're not on Voice 1, 2, 3. They haven't even looked at the prospect of what they need to be able to do to get a professional demo and be ready for one, or get the money for one. They haven't searched out which agents are the agents that they'd like to be represented by. They haven't reached out to any agents. They don't have a website. There's so many steps you can take in VoiceOver rather than just kind of getting down on yourself. That's what I urge you to do, is look at what the next step is. Next time those feelings creep up and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. Well, what's the next step? Take the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. I have been doing this for, I guess, probably about 9 years now, or just about. And I still have next steps that I want to do. So if you just started and you think you have no next steps, you are dreaming. Here is my action challenge for you. Pick an audition target. How many do you want to do in a day? Something realistic, something that you have access to at the moment, or you can get access to. Like if you're just on Voices doing 4 to 5 auditions a day because you're new on there and you've got the money to sign up for Voice 123, go for it. I am not affiliated with Voice 123 or Voices.com. They pay me nothing. I get no kickbacks or anything. I'm just telling you it's the easiest place to get work in the beginning, because if you haven't got a start yet, it's likely that you're not going to get an agent. How else are you going to get work, right? You got to get on these casting sites. Pick an audition target, a realistic one, and do those auditions without fail for the next 2 weeks. Track it. Don't change your strategy. Don't doom scroll on your phone. Don't negatively judge your auditions. Don't judge any results emotionally. Just track it. Don't let your emotions creep in. Just be consistent every single day and review the actual data after 2 weeks. If you don't feel like you have enough data, if you're only doing, like, let's say you pick 10 auditions a day, go another 2 weeks, get to 20. And keep pushing yourself a little bit further out of your comfort zone, and always have a next step, because if you don't have a next step, those negative feelings are going to creep in and they're going to run your business. They're going to run it right into the fucking ground. And get some friends in this business. Get some friends, join a community, get an accountability partner, whatever you got to do. Like, doing this alone is hard. I did it in the beginning alone until I found friends. And that made it so much easier, because then you have a sounding board. I always tell people to stay positive. Negativity doesn't help you in any kind of way, but you can ask them questions like, listen, I'm struggling on this. What do you do? I developed a friendship with Jim Merkel, who's one of the top voice actors on Voices.com. And he's so generous with his information. He's incredible. He was just in VoiceOver School recently, like giving like a master class on like exactly what he does. It was so cool. I found it very helpful for my own career, and I help him where I can with like AI stuff and all that. Like, it's hard to help him with performance. I mean, it's fucking Jim Merkel, but I help where I can. And that's the cool thing about finding friends in this business, is find your people. They'll help you through the tough times. And for the love of God, just keep it positive as you can. Don't look at things in a negative way. Think about, okay, so this isn't the ideal thing that I'm going through right now. I'm going through a season where I'm not booking, or I'm booking way less. What am I doing differently? And what can I do to get out of this? Like, look at it like a scientist. Don't be like, oh God, everything's falling apart. Like, no, like, okay, interesting. Not what I had hoped. How can I get out of this? What can I do? The answer is usually more. Just more. It's super simple like that. Do more of what you're doing. Do so much in VoiceOver that it would seem impossible for you not to make it. And then you probably will. This has been a long ass video. I've been Jesse Carroll. Don't listen to your feelings. In fact, fuck your feelings. And we'll see you in the next video. Later.